Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. In the last part, we wrapped up the 4.1 story with Raban deciding to stay in Alamigo. And now it's time to do the 24-man raid. So I actually somewhat misspoke in that that's like all there is in terms of 4.1 endgame. They actually started releasing what's called the Ultimate Trials. These require... The particular one in this patch requires the completion of Deltascape V4 Savage to do. And it's called the Unending Coil of Bahamut. I've never done it, so I can't comment beyond that. It's permanently level synced. You cannot unsync it. And yeah, it's freaking difficult content. Anyways, Dramatis Persona. Welcome, my lady. There is a young maiden here who would speak with you. Miss, the adventurer has arrived! And here she is, the liberator of both Doma and Alamigo in the flesh. I'm Lena Murilla, correspondent for The Raven. You may recognize me from my expose on the secret lives of the homunculi. But enough small talk. It's not for nothing that I've been standing here since yesterday morning on the off chance you'd pass by. No, I'm here because actually it's best you heard from Alma. I am but an observer. Alma, come! I found her! Is this the adventurer of whom you spoke? Indeed it is. Please, I beg of you, find my father. You are his only hope. It's alright, Alma. We are attracting unwanted attention. Might I suggest a change of venue? We will await you on the Prima Vista. The theater barge has a berth at the airship landing. Before, I think it's better we continue this conversation in the privacy of the young lady's barge. It's not that I don't trust anyone here. It's simply that I don't trust anyone here. Gekar Miningumo has been instructed to look out for you. In future, speak with him when you wish to gain admission to the docks. Thank you for coming, Arya. You're probably wondering why I summoned you to an airship, and Garland is one at that. Allow me to explain on the shuttle. Prima Vista serves as both stage and home to the majestic Imperial Theater Company. You can keep that dirk in your drawers. No one here is a member of the Imperial Army, nor are there any spies within the troop. At least, no one spies. Ask anyone and they will readily attest. The Majestic Imperial Theater Company are the finest practitioners of the dramatic arts to be found anywhere on the 3 grand continents and beyond. They have admirers throughout the Empire and its territories, and even boast a sizable following in Gridania, hence my assignment to their story. It's a little-known fact, outside Garlemald at least, that the late Emperor was a devoted patron of the arts who supported various theater troupes to the tune of much coin. Indeed, Solus was so enamored of the majestic players that he ordered the construction of this very airship that the troupe might perform in every corner of the Empire. When his grandson took the throne, however, everything changed. Now, all theater troupes, domestic and foreign, must submit their works for approval by the Central Imperial Board of Censors. If the play is deemed vulgar or inflammatory, it is banned and the troupe denied their writs of transit. The worst offenders? Well, they're never heard from again. This policy has effectively left playwrights with one of 2 options: compromise their creative integrity, the curry favor with his radiance, or put down their quills altogether. The principal of the Majestic, however, chose a third option, to express his disapproval of the new Emperor's policies obliquely in ostensibly unpolitical works. Pray forgive me for my earlier outburst. I am Alma Vas Luxenthal, daughter of Principal Nomus Sen Luxenthal. Perhaps you have heard of my father's latest play, the Zodiac Rape Story. On the surface is an innocent retelling of a well-known Garlean fairy tale, hardly worthy of the censor's attention, but beneath it is something quite different, a fact the censors failed to spot when they approved the manuscript for public performance. The play quickly became a huge success. The common folk loved this fantastical story, while the learned classes appreciated its true message. By the time the Imperial Board of Censors realized their mistake, it was too late. No longer in a position to prohibit the performance outright without admitting fault, they took aim at the company's purse strings instead. Before long, noble patrons began to withdraw their support, fearing to be associated with the troupe. By the end, even the learned felt compelled to feign ignorance. By bleeding the Majestic of their funding, the censors robbed them of their voice. And none of this has made it any clearer as to why you're here. Right. Allow me, Lena. Hey, Sid. You're everywhere. I've known Genoma since we were students at the Magitech Academy. When I heard his daughter was in Kugane looking to enlist the aid of an adventurer, I felt compelled to give her your name. Sorry for not announcing myself sooner, old friend. I'm used to it, buddy. Genomus and I were from different worlds, but that only served to fuel our friendship. Many were the nights we would prattle on into the wee small hours, warm flagons of peated ale numbing our minds to others' naive ideologies. Yet, no matter where conversations began, it would invariably end with him telling me how he was going to change the Empire from the inside out. The trip was to be his path into the people's hearts. Even after the Empire forced him from his home, Genomus never gave up hope that his work might change the world. Art will ever strain against artificial bounds and borders, man-made walls, and misguided wars. It is such times of uncertainty that we must needs embrace our calling and take to the sky so others might do the same. What I'm trying to say, rather poorly I concede, is that not all Garleans are hewn from the same stone. Just as there are those who pleasure lives in the Empire and would never think to question the authority of its leaders, there are those like Alma's father and myself whose love for their country does not blind them to its flaws. Still, try selling that sack of sunflowers to an Alamegan or a Doan who has watched his family consumed in the flames of a Magitech Reaper. How many hours and adventures do you think will lead with the opportunity to help an Imperial search for her missing father? And in Garlean territory, no less. But you're different. You have seen enough to know that the line between good and evil is not defined by race, color, or creed. So what say you? I would make a poor adventurer if I were to shy away from adventure. Indeed. Now that you understand the nature of the talent, perhaps Alma could provide some insight as to where we might begin our search. Shortly before my father disappeared, he began work on his next play, a successor to the Zodiac Brave story. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Please, follow me. Through adventure and hardship, young Delita, a boy of common blood, becomes a hero, culminating in the birth of the mythical kingdom of Evilise. But that is where the story ends. There are no records of anything that follows. Was Principal Genomus simply going to invent something? My father believed that he had discovered evidence of a second hero, one whose efforts went largely unnoticed, but without whom Delita would never have risen to the throne. He was the next tale he wanted to tell, the true Zodiac Brave story. A second hero? According to my father's study, the young man was one of Delita's closest friends and confidants, that is, until the untimely passing of Delita's sister forced the two to part ways. Yet the unnamed hero continued to provide aid to his friend by thwarting the machinations of those who would scheme against Delita, thus paving the way for the pauper's rise to region. You must forgive me, but I've never heard anyone make such claims. How exactly did your father come by this information? That is a long story. One which begins and ends with Genomus becoming lost in the very legend he sought to lay bare. Even as far back as our academy days, Evilise had Genomus firmly in its grasp. He flatly refused to believe the story was just a fairy tale. And so, when he was finally driven out of Garlemald, it was only natural that he should choose this of all places as his refuge. Was it not, Alma? That's correct, Master Garland. It has long been my father's belief that the ruins of ancient Evilise lay beyond Nogzia, buried beneath the sands of the Damascan desert. Poor Damaska, the kingdom prospered in relative isolation for countless generations until the Empire came calling. When not touring, my father would organize expeditions into the Damascus desert to search for proof of Evilise's existence. Sometimes he would bring back strange artifacts, ancient tomes, and crystals. Crystals unlike any others. My father called them auracite and claimed they were vital to proving his theories. This is one such crystal. But it's 12! It's magnificent! Evilise legend tells of crystals bequeathed by the gods unto those who would be kings. It is during his quest to gather auracite that young Delita rises to prominence. I must have heard the tale 1,000 times from my nursemaid, but that's all it ever was, a tale. My father would often tell us how the auracite spoke to him. At the time, we assumed he was speaking figuratively. The stone's beauty roused his muse. But then he began to act strangely. How so? Following our arrival here in Hingashi, my father spent most of his time cloistered in his chambers, poring over his past research. And though he was alone, we would oft hear him in conversation. It was not common for our father to recite the lines as he wrote them, but it soon became clear that this was something else. It was as if he was talking to my mother who passed several winters gone. Might this not have been out of mere loneliness, or perhaps a strain of your flight from Garlemald? Possibly, but that would not explain the voices which answered him. Alma, who are these people? I told you I did not require any help finding father, especially from outsiders. So good of you to join us, Ramza. Allow me to introduce... Enough, Master Sid. We may be shunned by the Empire, but we are still Garleans, and we still have our pride. Unlike some, it seems, we require neither the aid nor the pity of foreign rabble. Have you forgotten where you are, brother? It is we who are the foreign rabble. This land and its customs are all but unknown to us. We'd be fools to conduct our search without a proven guide. Your sister is right, Ramza. As for my good friend here, your mistrust is ill-placed. I will personally vouch for her character. All the time I have known her, she has never once let anything as insignificant as race or creed color her judgment. You're lucky to have her. But we would have you, Master Garland. Why do you refuse us? You know why. Until this affair with Omega is resolved, my hands are tied. It pains me to refuse you and your sister, but it pains me far more to leave Genomus to his fate. I'm sorry. You need not apologize. I let my emotions get the better of me. After what happened in Rabanastre, it may be time to admit we're out of our depth. My brother's last expedition met with tragedy in the ruins of the capital city. He barely escaped with his life. The Empire turned Rabanastre into a death trap. You were a fool to set foot there without a proper escort. I realize that now, Master Garland, but at the time I saw an opportunity to rescue our father, and I took it. Whatever led you to believe your father was in Damascus' capital? My father's fascination with evil Eastern and legend began with a trip to the antediluvian city long before the war. Call it premonition, but something tells me that is where he has returned. Now you must excuse me, I need some time to think. Then, Alma, I shall leave you and your brother in Arya's capable hands. She has ever repaid my trust with interest. You would do well to grant her yours. Thank you, Master Garland. We will not forget this kindness. Oh, you would be all the way over there, wouldn't you? Master Garland seems to think highly of you, so would withhold judgment until after Damascus. A city fallen. Damascus, nestled in a forgotten corner of the Empire's most outermost territories, did not foresee any trouble from the standing army, but would suggest committing to memory the location of each of the barge's exits, just in case. As for the flight itself, the currents above Damascus are as wild as the land below. You may want to hold on. completed our descent to Rabanastre in the shuttle. Bronza! I thought I made myself clear, Alma. The city, the capital, is simply too dangerous. Father would never forgive me if I were to lose you trying to rescue him. Come, we are wasting time. The Royal City of Rabanastre. According to my father, Rabanastre was already a thriving city some thousand years ago. But after performing several private excavations beneath the so-called Desert Sapphire, my father came to the conclusion that it was not the first settlement to stand here. Then, your father believes that Rabanastre sits atop the royal city of Lasalia, capital of Evilise? But if that's true, it could change history. We'd be famous. Famous? Are you sure you don't mean rich? Your kind are all alike. Parasites grown fat on the sweat and suffering of others. And bold words for a boy but 16 summers. And what, pray tell, have I done to deserve such spite? I only wish to learn the truth behind the disappearance of the Empire's foremost playwright. If that should lead to something bigger, well then, I would be the worst reporter in the realm if I did not pursue it. Yes, we can argue about this now, or we can return to the Prima Vista and report to our army of adventurers that it is time to begin the expedition. I humbly suggest the latter. You see, it's as I said, brother, let them come to us. Should we kill them now? No, the time is not right. When has I stopped this before? Bull! Do you see that one? Slayer of gods, they call her. Warrior of light. The Royal City of Rabanastre is now accessible. Alright, let's see how bad trying to queue this goes. Could be worse. Could be worse. Okay. Let's do this. Royal City of Rabanastre. So, I can already guarantee that the last boss is going to be pulled while people are still in cutscenes, aka me, and potentially any other new people, because people gotta go fast. They gotta go. Without any care for others. Assuming this tank responds. That's always a big question, right? like 2 seconds left on our timer or something. I know you're probably mad at me for what I've been doing to you. Thank you. Lies the Royal City. My father is somewhere inside. I can feel it. These are no ordinary birds. Yeah, no, they're chocobos! Alright, so first up, something foul prevents our crossing. Where is numbing breath? First up, we have Mateus the Corrupt. Yes. Yes. If you haven't figured it out by now, welcome to Evil Ace. Enjoy your stay. Really? Thank you. Oh, dang it! I went in too soon. Alright, Goddess of Ice, be my blade. So yes, Mateus, he is going to be summoning some stuff for us. And we are going to want to kill these aqua spheres. There's find one near me. Also, we are going to want to have at least 2 people standing in these little puddles like that to make sure that they're down. If there aren't, and his little slave comes around like that, well, the slave comes around. Or the slave spawns. So yeah, with this little thing that's dancing around, if that gets to one of those little puddles and there are not 2 people in it, then he is going to make a add spawn on us. So we're also going to be drenched here. Drenched means bodies who are in water and susceptible to freezing. And, oh, no, never mind. It's the Blizzard 2s. Yeah, okay. It's the Bubbles with Pop and the Blizzard 3s that contain out of those. Yeah. First, people are not bothering to do the mechanics because why would they? They can just punch Mateus. You know, as far as the mechanics, make this less of a pain. Living Shield, protect me from evil. I don't fully remember everything he does in this fight. I'll be honest with you. Alright, so yeah. That goes away. Still got an ice thing back there. Still drenched. I see this. Freeze! Dark water. Steal my body. Steal my resolve. So he's gonna put a bunch of proximity things on the ground. And we need to head to the safe spot. There's 2 of them back in these back corners. Of course, you got the people who are like, oh no, I have to optimize my DPS and take a ton of damage for no good reason. Now, okay, his tank buster hurts. That was the tank buster, FYI. That was my face. Alright, Breathless! So we are gonna, if we get to enough stacks, a stack of 10 will result in KO. So when you kill these plume toads, they will drop bubbles, and that will let us breathe. That'll give us some breath here. So of course we kill him right then and there. And we can continue on. So it was not mistaken. Something, something, something about his assessment. Too many people rolling on stuff for me to read it. Is it assessment of your skill in battle? Still, I worry that something even more sinister awaits us. Seek bandits! It appears that the horrible creatures are here to raid abandoned homes. So lunge, and yeah, this is gonna be a lot of AoEs. Pretty much. You also notice there's a bunch of coffers sitting around. Yeah. So now we're gonna have waves of black chocobos appearing on our heads. I can already feel myself missing about half of the last boss. I really don't want to have to redo this raid, I'll be honest with you. Oh hey, I appear to have been taking some black chocobos there. Technically, I think, like, you have the three groups kind of split up here, and yeah. Also, now there's one of those red chocobos chilling about. So it's going to choose one random person, put a proximity marker on to do Choco Meteor. This is going to make the Mimic's be targetable. No one else was pulling him, so I'm going to. Dang it. Or a Death Trap, I believe poisons. I want to say. And finally, with all that, our way is clear. My father mentioned the Empire using their might to put down rebellions within the city, but this destruction is too widespread. What is the creature we fought earlier? The twisted others! This is not the work of the Empire! Something is wrong here. Hashmal, bringer of order. So in Final Fantasy XII, Hashmal is basically a joke of a fight by the time you reach him. Hashmal is not a joke of a fight in Final Fantasy XIV. Hashmal is the bringer of death, more like. Quake 4 is going to be a basic AoE. And also, he's called Hash Browns. Just saying, that's kind of his name. Alright, Control Tower. He's going to spawn a tower, one of those little black circles. And he's going to do a circle, spin, and make it fall. Now he's going to pick a random side. Oh gosh, a bunch of people just got crushed by that. Yes, by the way, if you hit by the tower, you're crushed. If you're on the wrong side there, you get a really nasty bleed. Bleed, not bead. Earth Hammer is just, it's going to pick a spot, drop a hammer, it's going to cause a proximity AoE when it falls, which does a lot of damage if you're too near to it. You have barely any time to actually know about the proximity on it unless you know about it ahead of time. The Command Tower is going to knock us back this time. He's going to pull up one big one. I need to get over to my party. Hold on. I'm being really bad right now. It's been a bit since I've done Rabanastre, okay? A little less practice in Rabanastre. Alright, Sand Spirits have materialized. We need to kill these when we can. Otherwise, it'll do it to dust, which is going to do a very widespread. Now. Oh god, I'm still alive. AoE. No one else is killing that one. We also have this one back here, which is too dusted. Yeah, so that's what happens if you don't hit it. Resistance will be out with retribution. The land shall bury your scream. So now Lamb Waster, this is his ultimate as it was in Final Fantasy XII. And we are now in phase 2. Control Tower, so instead of spawning 1, he's going to spawn 2. The 1 was just the teeter, of course, since like, that's how we like to do that. We need to pay attention to how these are going to fall. Looks like I actually need to get away from here. Not get away properly. Got another couple of control towers. Good to see Hash Browns is still master. Looks like over here is going to be safe. I'm better at figuring out Hash Browns safe spots. Sorry, no, I can't call them anything but Hash Browns. It's what has been a while since I've run Rabanastre. It's just a name that sticks. I'll try to say Hash Browns, say it more, but Hash Browns. Alright, got another quick 4. And another quick 4. I'm doing really bad at using shoulder tackle for damage here. Rock Cutter, that is the tank buster. I've only tanked this guy like once or twice, so that's for every time. So this time he's going to drop 2 Earth Hammers. They're both proximities. basically, once they materialize, it's about when you really want to make sure you are getting out of the way of them. You notice I was, like, pretty close to one of those. Ow. Oh my god, people. Yeah, it's good to know that Hash Browns is still mass death. You would think Martialist would be the one for monks and samurais, but no, it's the one for ninja. Alright, so we have 3 Sikhs here. Pretty inconspicuous, right? Nothing bad could happen here. So again, as always, rule of 3. Since we are in B, I'm going to try and focus on this middle one. I'm sure not everyone else is going to do the same thing, but what I'm going to do is it's the middle one, and we're B. Oh, look! Inconspicuous treasure chest. So we have 2 Archeo Lions and Archeo Demon. So ideally here they are split apart. And B focuses on the Demon, and the other 2 focus on the Lions, but it looks like we are not doing that. Sure. We're kind of just all over. Normally I would pull the, so I would pull the demon back here, sorta, and the lions off to these 2 sides. But that's me. I also am more of an old school tank, and how I learned to tank, so yeah. Now for a little bit of downtime. Time for the Garum Scythe Waterway. Welcome to the Garum Scythe Waterway. These tunnels are said to have existed before even the Kingdom of Dalmasca was born. As the city grows, channels are widened and new outlets dug. I venture that some of the pools are so deep no one alive has ever seen their bottoms. So, we want to go ahead and hit this lever here. Now we'll open our way. And this is where you really do hope you have a physical range to do Peloton. So there's some scratch lettering here. I will try and remember to just return and run back through to read this after the fact, because I don't want to, like, be left behind here, because there are multiple. And every party has a different path. Unless on the map here, how we're all split into 3 groups. Yeah, each one has their own set, so I can only access Bs, unfortunately. And the reason for this is we need to hit 3 buttons, 3 different controls. It's usually either B or A that arrives last. Because they're the slightly longer ones. I think A is slightly longest. Just very slightly. Royal City of Lazalia. These ruins, we're no longer in Rabanastre, my friends. This is Lazalia, the Lazalia of evil and legend. The creatures here are not mere beasts or voids, and the secrets that lie beyond must be ones worth keeping. So this is Rofakel. Hark! What army marches on Rofakel's Demesna? Whatever. Alright, so the Tank Buster in this is a multi-hit, adding a stacking vulnerability bit into a final hit. You can assume the vulnerability right as the last one hits, so the tank takes less damage. You have to be on the ball for it, though. Alright, so it's gonna chariot one person, and they always run, like, halfway across the map, because right after chariot is gonna be Cry of Victory, which does everything behind where he hit, in terms of an, half arena AoE. You always want to be close to it, so it doesn't go too far for the, being targeted, aren't I? I wasn't giving up my DPS, okay? So I really do have to hold some shoulder tackles here. So Trample! Trample is gonna do a figure 8 attack. You have barely any time to not be in the path of it, or you just have to know the figure 8 to not get a damage down debuff. Right there. Alright, so now it's gonna do a bunch of this nonsense. We need to make sure to dodge into these open spaces. And then Replica will come back down. Alright, Crush Helm, that is again going to be the tank buster. You can tell it by the little flash it does at the start. I didn't catch it the first time. Alright, so here we should technically split into 3 groups, but we never do properly. And looks like we have like 5 people in here, and I'm the tank. Sweet! So you don't want to be in Replicale's path here. See, the group with these people took the longest to kill. Shocking. You don't want to be Replicale's path, it does a knockback. Penguins tremble in my wake, so you do want to pay attention to where he goes. Looks like he's going to stop over here. No, stopping over here. No, he's stopping over here. Alright, and then you want to get out of the middle. This is going to do a sort of proximity. Because notice everyone in the middle took a crap ton of damage, and we took like none. So, yeah. You did not want to be in the path. Everyone stands in the middle, though, because, I gotta be there right as Replicale lands to keep up my damage. Alright, so he's going to be putting traps on the ground. We do not want to walk into these, else we will be bound. And anyone around you will also be bound. Alright, so another chariot here. I mean, very close, so Cry Victory is pretty easy to get around. I just hate it when people are like, oh, let's just run halfway across the arena, so everyone gets hit by Cry Victory. Pretty much the worst. Alright, so we got another trample. Yeah, I didn't get out of that one. Luckily, the damage down does not last very long. And after that trample, we do have another Cry of Victory. Alright, Pomp and Circumstance is going to be just a proximity. Want to get out and then get back in so you don't take a ton of damage and die like that Dragoon just did. In sea over there. And the 2 samurais. Alright, so we've got the traps on the ground once more. Crush Weapon is going to be that chasing one. Chase me this time. Alright, we got another one of these. Let's get out of it. And remember, those things have not gone off yet, so we could still get bound pretty easily. We did not. So Crush Helm. Another Tank Buster. And maybe one mechanic we don't see? One main mechanic anyway. Embrace. Yeah, so we're gonna do this, and then maybe do the mechanic. Pumping Circumstance. No, it's not okay. It's gonna die. Because everyone's like, oh, let's just stay close to him, right? Alright, so he was literally just about to go into it there. So what he would have done is he would have turned the whole arena dark. You have to find these circles of night, or whatever they're called. And, interact with them. You have to interact with them all in time, because he is doing one of those across arena things again. So you can see where he's going. I am like 200% missing half this fight. Is to be a fight, then. I am only too happy to oblige. Yeah, I already saw the notice there. Like sheep before the wolf. Way to ruin. Yeah. Yeah, this is the boss. It's already been engaged.
Who dares disturb the slumber of Argath Fadalfos, rightful king of Ivalice?
At least the lines from in the fight aren't playing at the same time.
Descendants of House Beowulf? Then by my sword shall I banish your souls to the deepest hell.
immediately a sealed area? Yes, please.
You will be judged.
Oh, of course, the only one knew. Alright, so we're kind of coming in. We literally did miss 25% of the fight. Oh my god. Go figure. People are doing this badly. You do not want to run. So, Neo, repent. You will. 2 people will be targeted with swords. You do not want to run like that one person did. Because then it makes it harder to dodge. The 2 people swords want to stand in the middle. Because then it's easier. Royal Blood. We're already going into the ultimate, seriously. So let's go with let's chase. Terror the people. Of course, I don't even get to do the, here's where we learn how to do this one upcoming mechanic. Because thanks people. Glad you're in that much of a hurry.
Does it grieve you to see the depths
I
of
might just have to read through
this?
this. I just hate reading Rabanastre. It's so long. Alright, so now we're going to have these shards of emptiness. We need to destroy them. So the bit we missed at the start is he does a Simon Says sort of thing, basically. You need thing shows up on your screen, tells you if you follow it or if you do not. And then you will be given a command, either move or look away. I believe the initial ones are you have to do it. And now he's about to do the do not follow it. So the red eyes means do not follow it. So we need to look at him here. Because we were told it was the lies and whatever, so yeah, we have to follow it. But otherwise we would have to look away. The other one is stop or keep moving. Temporary misdirection. I really hate this debuff and they keep using it. Hey, I got out!
You are the blood to stay the circle.
Okay, you didn't target towards me on that one. So, the other thing in this fight is if you mess up too many times, so this is we need to follow it here. So we need to look away. 3, 2. We did not get a debuff because we did not fail it. So if you get 3 stacks of this debuff over here, this unnerved, you will become a shade, run around for a little bit, and then explode. You also get this if you
will be judged.
Run into the barricade. You just automatically become a shade, and then go boom. So that was the move, because I got the do not follow. Then I had to not follow it, basically. Alright. Okay, there we go. I really hate trying to get in here. These people are being really even worse than I am at getting in there. Failing it does give you that debuff. And yeah, so that's basically the basics of this fight. He does start doing the crosses more, and proximities, fire 4 basic AoE, and yeah, there you have it. Oh no, I was not the only new one. I was just the only one who didn't skip that first cutscene, I guess.
This body, it is not my own.
Oh gods, what have I done? Save me! Ramza! Save me!
And congratulations, we get to deal with that in the entire series of these raids. I hope you're looking forward to it. So that was Rabanastre. Also, I forgot to return and read those scrollings. I'm like, oh, remember, and I didn't remember. Where am I? Father! Ramza and the Warrior of Light? Yes, I know of you, but that you should come to my rescue. Words fail me. A poor playwright I must seem. The term you're looking for is thank you, upon which note I, Begamnon Bounty Hunter, do humbly thank you, Warrior of Light, for delivering me this fine gift. Now hand over the aura sight unless you wish to see the desert sands turn red. Be quick! Gijak here does not have the steadiest hands. That one! She will bring it to me. Yes, this is it, the Duma. And to think we found so close to Doma, the Duma of Doma. Enough, Bloggy. We would not have our guests think us underbred. You have what you want, you thieving lizards. Now unhand him. Of course, Obanga is always true to his word. I will be keeping this, though. Father! You've only yourselves to blame for this, but if you mislike the thigh, you could always blame the gods. Not that they're listening. Get up, fool. We're leaving. You're going to be all right. I cannot see to your father's hurts here. Come on, we must get him back to the Prima Vista. Shinoma's remains deep in slumber, but his breathing is steady and his fever has subsided. For now, all we can do is wait. I've sent word to Sid. I hope you don't mind. Alma, Ramza, can you ever forgive me? And you, Sid. It's never my intention to put you to such trouble. I am ever in your debt. You would have done the same for me, Genomus. Besides, it was Arya here who went to all the trouble. If anyone deserves your thanks, it's her. was right. I have done not to deserve your kindness, yet I am its beneficiary nonetheless. So if I understand correctly, you're saying Orisight does not work to facilitate the possession of a living host by an icon, as was assumed to be the case by Ysel and the Archbishop, but rather absorbs the host's ether, its very soul, and somehow transforms it before returning it to the host's body. If that's the case, our Charlie and allies will need to be informed immediately. But I suppose the real question here is, did you find what you came looking for? The legend would have us believe that Zelida Hero, the commoner who would be king, was the sole hero of the Zodiac Brave story, but as I have discovered, there was another. 2 others, in fact. Siblings whose roles faded from subsequent retellings of the story, a brother and sister by the names of Ramza and Alma. Then, for this assignment, I poured over every published work on Evil East and legend I could lay my hands on, and no words did I find any mention of these siblings. But I did. I uncovered irrefutable evidence that Delia had a close companion named Ramza who aided in his rise to power. Then turn led me to Alma, and that I might never lose sight of the truth, I named my own children after these lost players. I'm sorry I never told you any of this, Sid, but you must believe me. Evil East has never been a mere pastime of mine. It is and forever will be my calling, my purpose. My family's purpose. Go on. The world knows me as Genomus Sen Lexentel, but yet that is but my stage name. My real name is Arslan Durai. Countless generations passed as my ancestors would pen those denied papers, account of Evil East in the World Alliance that details what truly occurred during that turbulent era. You are tired, Father. Rest. I will continue. Long ago, an orphan by the name of Oren Durai crossed paths with both Ramza and Delita. After Delita's rise to power, Oren found himself in the service of the pauper become king. Following the World Alliance, Oren believed the people of Evil East had a right to know the truth of Ramza's involvement and set about documenting his deeds. When the church learned of his intent, however, they branded him a heretic and had him burned at the stake. The Durai papers were never published, and any existing copies were gathered and sealed away in church vaults, the truth about Evil East along with them. What was so damning that it would drive the church to do such a thing? The answers to that question can be found in this book, the only surviving transcript of my ancestors' chronicle, a copy from an early draft and passed down for untold generations. With this, my father and I plan to reveal the truth and restore honor to my family name. Forbidden Chronicles, a secret family legacy. Not that I doubt you, Genomus, but how do you expect to convince people of all of this when well nigh every soul in the realm believes Evil East to be nothing but a bedtime story? By proving that it is anything but. And people see that Evil East was real, the rest will fall into place. Were it as simple as bringing forth the chronicle and submitting it for review, we would, of course, have done so long ago. Alas, it is not. Durai papers, you see, are written in High Evolution, an ancient tongue long extinct. My father, his father, and his father before him labored tirelessly to decipher this tome, but for want of other sources made only fitful progress. Word here, phrase there. It wasn't until a recent expedition to Rabanastre turned up several well-preserved artifacts that we were able to translate a small portion of the papers. The diary stolen by the Bonga bounty hunters? I'm afraid so. Everything we had learned of the language was contained in those papers. Pages. Same thing. And we're back to where we started. Not necessarily. We still have the transcript as well as some few translated passages. And, of course, my father's impeccable memory. I have come too far to allow so simple a setback to deter me from my purpose. I will show the world the truth. It is the last thing I do. As Master Garland said, he's a man obsessed, and I fear Evillise's grip on him will only grow tighter. Father was fortunate to escape Rabanastre with his life, and already he speaks of continuing his quest. Promise me you'll keep him safe. Promise? What? No, I don't want to go to the airship landing. There we go. That's what I wanted. After what I've seen here, I'm all but convinced that Evilise exists, at least in some form. Probably gathering sufficient evidence to convince the thousands of scholars and historians who have based their careers on the presumption that it doesn't. Not that I've ever been one to shy away from a challenge, especially when it means the story of the century. If you're in Aria, then I'm in. If you're not in, well, I'm still in. Either way, you'll be hearing from me again soon. That much I promise you. So we get the protagonist theme and background story. Let's just check this here real quick. Yeah. Alright, so that is as far as we are going to go for patch for that particular one. So yeah, like I said, there is technically the ultimate, the unending coil of Bahamut, but I have never even touched it. I have no intention to ever touch it, and it also requires clearing Deltascape V4 Savage. So, on that note, I guess next time we'll do a patch 4.2 story. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps to keep being content like this and more. You can find the links for that in the description, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt, signing out. Bye!